Going to start our Down on the Farm coverage as we do each and every episode down on the farm at Single A Rancho Cucamonga. And I'll tell you what, this is one of my funnest teams to watch that I can remember in a long time. Of course, when Dalton Rushing and that group came up a couple of years ago, Bubba Alleyne, Taylor Young, that group was a lot of fun after the draft. And they're always a lot of fun to watch. But I just love these young hitters. I love the young arms, one especially here that we're watching on your screen from the University of Utah. Cam Day had a really nice start last night for Rancho. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. Cam was kind enough to kind of explain his mix. You're seeing on here a sinker that has a right turn, also a four-seam. There's that sinker you see have that little bit of a right turn. He also has a four-seam that he likes to ride at the top of the zone. And then also, hey, there's another sinker you just saw there on your screen there. So the Dodgers, when they have big pitchers in their system, when they have big mixes like this, they like to use that sinker to come in on the hands to the inside part of the plate. We saw that with Bobby Miller the other night to make sure, because if you're riding that thing in on the hands, it's less likely that a hitter, because that inside part of the plate is a dangerous part. That's where history is made. And it makes it less likely that they can ambush you and hit a home run off of it. So that sinker is a really good pitch to the inside part of the plate. And then they use that four-seam to hit the top of the zone and then that location there to the outer half, that glove side. So that four-seam, that's straight right there to the glove side and to the top of the zone. The sinker to the inside part of the zone, there's the four-seam up. And then this slider that Cam Day throws, simply put, it's Blake Trinan. It's Blake Trinan, that one right there. That's Blake Trinan type stuff as far as just the wicked movement of it. So really like the pitch mix of Cam Day. Usually sits about 94 to 96. He has touched as high as 99. So good outing last night for Cam Day. Again, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So how about this for catching prospect Jesus Calise? I love that swing. That is a really just kind of solid line drive swing. He is thinking, he hits that to the pull side gap because he's a little bit early. Now, let me back that up. I like working opposite field gap as a target because then if you're a little early like that, then you can pull the ball into the pull side gap like you did there. So definitely a gap-to-gap type setup for Jesus Calise, a really sweet swing. Now, think about this for him, for a young guy who's come over. He's Venezuelan. He lost his dad in 2020 to COVID. Hey, run that out, young man. Those hits count, by the way. That looks like a line drive in the box scored Jesus Calise, that a boy. So good job there. Multi-hit game for him. Think about this for the young man from Venezuela who lost his dad to COVID in 2020. But think about this for an experience. He had a walk-off base hit a couple of Sundays ago. He's gotten to catch Clayton Kershaw and Joe Kelly all within the last couple of weeks. So what a stretch it's been for Jesus Calise to kind of add to the fact that he has back-to-back multi-hit games. He has 3 multi-hit games in his last 4, and he has 2 3-hit games in his last 4 as well. And then also, he's on a heater. He's 18 for his last 38 with 8 doubles in that span. So when you put all that together, that's been one heck of a ride for young catching prospect in the Dodgers organization, Jesus Calise, who is just a wonderful young man. I've had a chance to talk to him on a couple of different occasions. Super polite. He took it very personally to learn the language of English so he could speak English when he got here, and he is very good at it, by the way. So congratulations to him for that, and I always root for Jesus Calise. Continuing on this theme of young hitters in Rancho that think up the middle, they think big part of the field, they have line drive type setups, flat runways through the hitting zone. Look at that. And then also, hey, if you come inside on them, they can make history as well. I love these young hitters. Oswaldo Osorio, Alexander Albertus, Jesus Calise, we just saw him a minute ago. You could throw Wilman Diaz in that category as well. Carlos Rojas, Jonathan Valadades, and then this young man right here, Jose Mesa. Jose Mesa is at the top of that list. I just love the way that he has been taught to think base hit first, hit the ball hard, line drives, just hit some line. Now, see, he's not trying to hit a home run there. You can definitely tell. He's staying inside the ball and shooting that ball the other way with a not 2 strikes there, but kind of a 2-strike approach. as far as inside outing it. And then, so you've seen him inside out a ball. Now you've seen him turn on a ball. So obviously, Visalia was trying to throw him inside. He made that adjustment and made history on his second at bat. So great job, Jose Mesa. Going to move up to the AA level now. And hey, this is Dylan Campbell. And like I've told you a couple different times, I've gotten to see this young man with my own eyes. And he can play everywhere on the field. And he can be the best player on the field, no matter what type of superstar players you have on the field. He has that kind of ability to impact a game. If anybody ever asked you, kind of like Taylor Young, I talk about all the time, hey, how good is Dylan Campbell, or what is Dylan Campbell good at as far as the game of baseball? Just answer with one word, and that is yes. Because this young man, I've seen him play shortstop. I've seen him make diving catches in right field. I've seen him hit home runs. And then in the same inning, or the same game, I've seen him hit a home run like that, and then bunt for a base hit, steal second base, go to third base on a ball that never even left the dirt, as far as a ball in the dirt that the catcher blocked, and then score on a sac fly and or a ground ball. I've seen him do all that type of stuff in the same game that he hit a home run. So this is a guy that can affect the game. He can impact the game in many different ways, and this was home run number 4. So always excited whenever I have a chance to cover Dylan Campbell, because he is a very, very good baseball player. Tyrone Loronzo, we always talk about, he is not a switch swinger. He is a switch hitter. How about the home run last night in front of a crowd that was almost 7,000 at Great Lakes? And by the way, all those people, John Vicari, I was actually messaging back and forth with him about a couple of different things. But on the broadcast, him and Brad Tunney, who do such a wonderful job, mentioned that all of the people that are in the berms of the grassy area were able to watch the city of Midland, Michigan's, the city's fireworks show while they're watching baseball, and then waiting for this game to end so they can watch another fireworks show at the end of it. So for those people you see right there in the grassy knoll, that was a heck of a fun night for them on the 4th of July. And then they got to see some fireworks during the game as the Loons won an exciting game against a very good West Michigan Whitecaps team. And they got to see Tyrone Loronzo hit a home run from the right side. And congratulations to Tyrone. He has been selected to play in the Futures game during the All-Star weekend here coming up in just a little bit. So congratulations to Tyrone Loronzo. Nice job hitting a home run last night right-handed. And super exciting time of his life for him when he gets all these accolades and keeps moving up in the Dodgers organization. This is Brandon Neek right here, and he had a really nice outing last night. Multi-innings, 2 innings pitched. Nice little cutter type pitch. Also has a bigger slider. That cutter to the back door there is a really nice pitch. You can also sweep it to the back foot of right-handers too. And you see that 4-seam up tall in the zone. And now I probably should have put that in the highlight package, but that's okay. Field that ball and run over to first base and get you an out, young man. He is part of the triple-headed monster that came from the University of Virginia. Look at that 4-seam up in the zone and up and in. So you have that backdoor cutter pitch, then you have the sweeping slider to the back foot. You can see right there he's not super excited. He was trying to get that pitch to the back foot and kind of hung it. There's another backdoor slider / cutter pitch as well. That's Dom Johnson, by the way, who is from Edmond, Oklahoma. Had to compete against him when he was playing in high school there, and he was really good. Went to Oklahoma State out of high school, then eventually transferred to Kansas State. Just a wonderful athlete, a great player. So I know how good he is, but part of the triple-headed monster that came from the University of Virginia that are on the Great Lakes Loons, Brandon Neek, plus Jake Geloff, the third baseman, who's super talented, and then also Chris Newell is having such a huge year. So 2 innings pitched last night for Brandon Neek, 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, and no walks. Neek's ERA on the year is 3.43. His ERA is he has 5 scoreless outings in a row, 9 of his last 10. And like I said, on here you can see he's using his fastball to be very specific, to hit parts of the zone that he's wanting to hit, top of the zone, and then also his hit for a lefty, his arm side, which would be outside to a righty, and then using that slider on both sides of the plate. So nice outing for Brandon Neek. Kelvin Ramirez hit 98 last night. This is a guy we talk about all the time right there. Look at that right there. You just saw it, 98 miles an hour. With an 87-mile-an-hour change that has a good right turn to it. There's an 88-mile-an-hour change. A really, really, really nice offering from Kelvin Ramirez, who has been very, very good this year. And that changeup you saw actually is a knuckle change. So it has a knuckle little, not only does it have the fade and the tumble, but it also has a knuckling action to it, which makes it even, that one right there, makes it even more difficult to hit. And hey, this was a 4-2 game. It was the top of the 9th inning. It was a packed crowd. Everybody was ready for the fireworks, and Kelvin Ramirez got it done, got the game over, and got the fans into the fireworks part of the evening. So great work, Kelvin Ramirez. Got to back up in terms of the game last night. That's a nice four-seam for Mr. Payton Martin, who is a front of the Rolodex type of prospect, no doubt about that. Hey, he gave up a home run to the first hitter of the night, and then only gave up one run for the rest of the night. And the big part of this, Payton Martin, he was injured a lot last year. Coming back this year, got moved up to High Great Lakes. Man, that was dangerous right there. Watch out, Mr. Payton Martin. He is such a great athlete. Oh, watch out, Payton. He was a shortstop in high school, and a very good one, actually. Was committed to play for East Carolina. Probably was going to be a shortstop to a player there. And we know how good East Carolina's baseball program is. But anyways, gave up a home run to the first hitter and then went to throwing that right there, that little cutter pitch. He's throwing kind of a splitter type change pitch to go with his fastball and his curveball. That slider right there is really, really nice. And after the injury last year, it's really nice. Look at that slider too. He got all the way up to 6 innings. We've talked about that many different times at the major league level, that 6-inning mark is a big, big number for the starters to hit because it keeps your bullpen healthy. And Payton Martin, so that the organization has, in my opinion, made it a concerted effort to get their younger pitchers trained on pitching 6 innings when they start. Right on the dot for Payton Martin. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. And again, that's 2 runs after he gave up a home run to the very first hitter of the game. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. I am so pumped for the future of Payton Martin, the 17th round draft pick out of Clemens, North Carolina. He was found by Jonah Rosenthal. Always want to give Jonah a lot of credit when I talk about him. So, hey, Payton Martin, put him in the front of your Rolodex. Hey, this kind of came out of the blue as Carlos Donon was, of course, he had Tommy John surgery last year, so he didn't get to pitch. And he's kind of fought injury. I mean, since 2021, he's fought one injury after the other. The latest being a Tommy John surgery that put him down all of last year. Came back. He had 6 outings for Rancho Cucamonga at the single A level, and then just got completely bypassed past the high A Great Lakes level and went straight from single A Rancho Cucamonga all the way up to double A Tulsa. And he made his double A debut last night and was very good. He's always been that guy that's been a taller guy. He has that unique tempo and timing to his motion. Sometimes he'll pause his leg kick and really throw off the timing of the hitter, and it makes it really hard to hit. And then that curveball / slider, whatever you want to call it, is a huge pitch. His curveball is huge. One thing, it's not surprising to me that he had Tommy John. I even mentioned this before he did because he's such a max effort guy. He can get up to 96, but it's not, see right there, even like on his breaking pitches, it's really max effort. See that max effort right there, even on the changeup. It's max effort to get to that 96. And so you know that's stressful on the arm. So I think the Dodgers, we've already seen it with his Tommy John, but even moving forward, they're going to have to be very careful in terms of load management with a guy like Carlos Donon. But he is very much so worth it because he is extremely talented. He's a very tall, long drink of water that gives a lot of downward movement to his pitches. And he had a great double A debut last night. 3 1/3 innings pitched. 4 hits, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, and a walk. Again, big breaking ball, unique timing and tempo to his motion. Hey, welcome to Tulsa, Carlos Donon. I need to figure out when the next time he pitches in T-Town is, and I need to head over there to Drillville and check me out some Carlos Donon in One Oak Field. Ben Harris has been in Double-A Tulsa for a cool minute now, and he had a good outing last night. He's still in, guys like Jack Dreyer, other lefties like that. They've gotten promoted because they've been more consistent in terms of throwing strikes. I don't mean that in any way, shape, or form to throw shade, just to be totally transparent and totally honest, because when Ben Harris throws strikes, he has some of the best swing and miss stuff of any relief pitcher, any side, right, left, any type of pitcher in all of the game of baseball. The numbers would bear that out in terms of strikeout ratios. So, hey, this guy right here, Ben Harris, he just needs to get the ball in the strike zone. He needs to keep the ball in the strike zone, and he needs to go on a heater and get himself up to AAA Oklahoma City. Kind of stuck right now at the AA level, so hopefully he can get that done. Brandon Lewis, there's another guy that's been at AA Tulsa for quite a bit. Needs to get that done, needs to get all of those things squared away, get himself to Oklahoma City, get himself one step away from the major leagues, and just bring on a new challenge as far as his baseball career goes. So, hey, good to see Ben Harris have a good outing last night for AA Tulsa. Going to spend quite a bit of time at the AAA level because it was a wonderful night last night with a crowd that approached almost 10,000 people. And so for a guy like me, that was at Bricktown Ballpark the night that they opened it on the first game. Matter of fact, I sat in the upper deck of the right field bleachers that aren't even open anymore. And back then, Bricktown, when they had the upper deck available, seated over 14,000 people. Now without the right deck, with the right field deck, it's a little bit under 10,000, and it was completely packed last night, even in a weather delay, as it rained a little bit in Oklahoma City. Matter of fact, Tulsa had a worse rain delay than Oklahoma City did. Love the fact that Alec Gamboa has been moved back to the starter role. I said this last time we talked about him, but he has that type of stuff and that mentality that if you give him a little bit of room to breathe in terms of, hey, he doesn't feel like he's pitching not to make mistakes. Hey, I've got 5 or 6 innings to play with here. I just need to be consistent. I need to just kind of play the long picture here and just get in a rhythm. If you give him time to breathe enough to get into a rhythm, I think that suits him best, no doubt about it. So love the fact that he's back in the starter role. And here's kind of an example. He hit 96 last night. He was 94 to 96 on the fastball and still touching 95.5 in the 6th inning. He is an elite athlete. He has elite endurance. There is no reason for him not to be a starter. He has enough stuff with his fastball that has enough giddy up, his slider, and all of that is good enough to face other teams' lineups, I think, multiple times through. So the spin rate on his fastball touched 2587. And more impressive than that, it averaged over 2,400. So that's a really good fastball from the left side. And by the way, how about this for Alec Gamboa? 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Gamboa's kind of been like Ben Harris in the past, where when he's been in the strike zone, he's had nights like last night, but he hasn't always done that. He's drifted in and out of it from time to time, and that's kind of been the reason why he's been a little bit up and down in terms of his results. It's either been, hey, he's been dominating for like 2 months at a time and then had a month where he really struggled. It's because of the strike zone. And so that no walks last night is absolutely huge for him. ERA down to 2.59 for Alec Gamboa. I'll say it again. I've said it many different times. John Rooney, Alec Gamboa, if they do their part, the Dodgers need to do right by these guys. 2.59 ERA. Gamboa came to the system as a starter, was transitioned to a reliever. He's now back to being a starter. The Dodgers have sent him to AAA, sent him back down to AA, back to AAA. He's done everything that's asked of him. He's a diehard Dodgers fan. His entire family are diehards. If anybody in the organization is listening to this, which I'm sure they're not, but that's okay. If they are, do right by this guy. Again, I talk about the merit system all the time. Only if he earns it. But Alec Gamboa, in my opinion, has earned it. 2.59 ERA on the year. He's done everything the organization's asked. So all I ask is do right by this guy, Alec Gamboa. So here's a challenge last night. This is Hunter Fiducian. You see right here the catcher. Let me back that up. As the pitch is thrown, watch the catcher, see him hit his helmet there. So the challenges have to come from either the hitter, the catcher, or the pitcher, and the catcher, the pitcher, hitter have to tap their head, and it has to be immediate. It cannot come from the dugout. Then this actually goes up on the video board. I timed it. This took exactly 14 seconds to execute, and the pitch was actually upheld. So this challenge system, I don't know why it's not already in the major leagues. I think they're getting ready to scrap the robo-umps all the way through the minors, and I think it's going to be standard through the minors to where they have just the challenge system. because it absolutely works. Again, you saw it right here, and it adds some excitement when that thing goes up on the board. You see the bait, just like you're seeing here. What you're seeing here is exactly what you see on the video board, and you're like, okay, where's it going to hit, right? It's almost like the old dot races in the old days. And so 14 seconds, it adds excitement. It does not add length to the game that's substantial. I think the Major League Baseball needs to institute the challenge system as soon as after the All-Star break. Now, I know that won't happen, obviously, but I think it should, because I think it's that consistent, and I think it works that well. Been telling you that Cody Hosy is the best defensive infielder in the system for a long time. How about that play right there? Atta baby, Cody Hosy throws it to Andre Lipsius. And I've been asking, hey, why isn't Andre Lipsius the everyday starting third baseman for AAA Oklahoma City? Well, you just saw it right there. And then how about this? Big part of the field, Cody, that a boy. Right center, that's that right center field gap that we talk about. Coach Holt talks about all the time. When you think right center, it just makes your timing a little bit deeper, and it keeps you flatter through the hitting zone, and it gives you a longer hitting window that you saw just right there. So, hey, great job, Cody Hosy. Watch that play. Throw that ball, young man. Perfect one hop to Andre Lipsius. A great play. How about for Cody Hosy on the season? 304, OPS 835, hits in 6 games in a row, and he's 9 for his last 23, which is 391. Using the big part of the field, atta boy. Trey Sweeney is starting to catch a little bit of his stride here. He has hits in 6 of his last 7 games. And he's 8 for his last 22, which is 363. Notice the count on that hit there. And then coming up, look at that. I love that swing. Takes it just direct to the ball. 2 strikes. Now, what I want you to notice about both of these swings, watch how he takes his hands to the ball with 2 strikes. Just very contact-oriented, just trying to put the ball in play, trying to hit the ball hard somewhere. Doesn't care if it's a ground ball. Doesn't care if it's a line drive. Just wants to hit the ball hard. So I think if the Dodgers just allow him to keep that swing, don't care about the home runs. Now, he does have 11 home runs, so he can hit them. We talked about that the other day, that's aided a lot by altitude places that he's played in, but this hit is not right here. That is Trey Sweeney. Just take your hands to the ball. Just figure out a way to get the barrel on the ball, hit it somewhere in play, hit it as hard as you can, and let the chips fall where they may. So I love that approach from Trey Sweeney last night. Hopefully he can continue to hit as well as he has been as of late. Kind of interesting that I always talk about how Hunter Fiducia and Trey Sweeney have almost identical swings, and it seems like every single game that I cover one or the other's on there. So I don't have any scientific or research behind that, but it just seems it must be a matchup thing. It must be, the way that the other pitcher is attacking hitters that makes both Hunter Fiducia and Trey Sweeney have good nights on the same nights, and that might not even be the case. It just seems that way that every time I cover Hunter Fiducia, I'm also covering Trey Sweeney and vice versa. But hey, Hunter Fiducia, 286, OPS 864, hits in his last 4 of his last 6 games. Total grinder, very good at baseball. Hunter Fiducia, I hope at some point he gets a chance to have an opportunity to be a major leaguer, because nobody has deserved that more than he has. Hey, AlanTrejo, this acts like kind of like that hit we saw earlier for Jesus Calise. That's a line drive in the box score, young man. Touch first base, you've got a base hit. So you got to like that for your first. When you get that first hit of the night, it just makes the whole night have a whole different outlook on it. There's a look at AlanTrejo's swing from the side. Really nice swing. And then let me actually get you to this second video here. Here's that swing we just saw. Let me forward that to this next swing here, right back up the box. I really like that approach. I mean, that is, let me back that up and stop that. And if I can get it stopped and get it to a quarter of speed here, and we can actually look at AlanTrejo's swing, who just was acquired by the Dodgers. Really, really nice load there, really soft and just really direct to the ball. Now look at that right there. That is an absolutely beautiful. He's leveraged on the front side. His back knee is pointed and his back elbow, all that pointed directly at the baseball. And as you look at this front arm right here, this front forearm and the barrel, it makes a straight line down to the baseball. His back elbow is tucked. His weight is centered, and he has tilted that back shoulder through the ball, which means that it's going to hold that front side in a little bit longer. So the goal of this is this front shoulder, this front hip, and all of this is that you're trying to replace that front side with your back side. And then your front side tries to, like you've seen right here with being locked up, tries to keep that from happening. So you have forward momentum with your backside. You have a front side that's trying to create resistance to your backside, and that creates energy in opposite directions, which is what we know as torque. This is that to a T right here from AlanTrejo. So if he can continue to duplicate that swing right there, he's going to have success as a hitter in this organization. And we know how well the Dodgers do with instruction. And so, hey, super excited about hometown boy AlanTrejo. Get to see him for the first time tonight in person. I'm hoping at the Take BP because I'm hoping I get a chance to have an interview with him and get a chance to talk to him. Here's Trejo from the side. That is just a nice swing. Look at that leverage right there. Back shoulder tuck. He's got that back elbow tuck. Back shoulder is tilted so he can keep those hands above the ball. Backside is replacing the front side. Weight has great balance to it. Nice swing, AlanTrejo.